I'm doing a giveaway. Stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can enter to win. What is up, everybody? I'm No Lux Given, and today we are going to take a look at a game where I finally find Horn of Olympus in Storybook Brawl. I've been searching for this treasure ever since Princess P was added back into the game. And in this game, we get lucky enough to find one. We get lucky in a bunch of ways in this game, as you can see, rolling the die onto that buffed up kitty cup purse, and then finding another kitty cup purse and another roll the die in this second shop. You know we gotta go for it, but let's increase our odds a little bit first. Let's pick up and sell this Mad Mim, and then roll the die yet again, and of course, better lucky than good, we are going to roll onto the second kitty cup purse. I'm going to lock onto this shop just because being able to upgrade the cat is going to be so strong for us, and it also has a blind mouse, so seems pretty good. The combats don't go exceptionally well for us, but I'm still feeling great about our chances overall in this game. Gonna pick up kitty cup purse here, and then we have the opportunity to go Skip's puzzle rune or Dragon's Nest, both of which seem like pretty powerful treasures, but this early in the game, I think you just have to take Spinning Wheel. It's so good to get +1 gold every turn starting on turn 3 or 4, and I'm not going to turn that down. From there, I just wind up rolling. I figured I could take Polywoggle, but I could also roll twice, and because I'm Pied Piper, I have the chance to roll into a Polywoggle or potentially some other animals with that +1/+1 on them. So thought it was worth rolling for. We are going to get the double slay on kitty cup purse plus the spinning gold for the turn. That is going to let us pick up a donkey, roll, and then pick up 2 more donkeys. An absolutely incredible start to this game. It's incredible enough that I don't think we need Eye of Ares to help us with slaying. Kitty cup purse is already big enough, and Polywoggle might not be big enough, but it's fine. On the surface, the helm seems like it would be good with the donkey, but that's actually not my plan here. My plan was to use the helm with the kitty cup purse because giving it +10 health could allow it to slay multiple times in the same combat. My opponent has an earthquake and I have a falling star, so donkey is going to summon 2 things here. That's going to be a good witch and a princess peep. So we're overall just going to be really strong. It means that we're not going to get a second slay with our kitty cup purse though. So that part's a little bit of a bummer, but ultimately we are still doing very, very good. I'll pick up a pair of animals and a candy rain here before rolling one more time, and wish upon a star when we are this strong and generating this much extra gold. I think we gotta go for. I messed up how much gold I thought I had. I should have cycled the chicken and cycled the unicorn before locking this shop, but I'm just going to wind up locking onto it here now. No sense getting rid of the Polywoggle or getting rid of one of these blind mice. We failed to spend a gold, and that's on me. But we will still get a new unit from Pied Piper next turn. Could potentially pick up the donkey. I think we're just going to wind up going for that Wish Upon a Star and seeing what else we can find ourselves in the possession of. We are going to slay with Polywoggle. That's going to give us a Nutcracker. We also slay with the Ogre Princess, and we slay with Kitty Cup Purse twice. So yeah, this game is going pretty well for us. We'll pick up a pair of animals before casting Wish Upon a Star, then I pick up another Polywoggle, and now I want to focus on winning this Wish Upon a Star turn. So I move some things around here. Donkey is actually kind of awkward in the helm slot now that we are playing 7 units. So I just throw the Nutcracker in the helm slot, and then the stag is going to pump up the donkey. And that should all be enough to help us win. I do consider selling off the golden chicken plus the pair of blind mouse to pick up Medusa to again just try to be a little bit stronger on this Wish Upon a Star turn. Could definitely be an option, but the plan here is to win the combat, then find a Polywoggle and grab an upgraded tier 6 character, and from there I should be in a really, really good position to just win the game. And it's looking like we are going to win this combat. We aren't going to slay with the Kitty Cup Purse, but we are going to be strong enough to slay with the Kitty Cup Purse and win the combat. We actually do get it on the turnaround there. So some bonus gold, some bonus XP, and yeah, this is a pretty powerful game, I have to say. This is a pretty awkward turn. It's 4.2, so I'm not really looking to pick up a bunch of tier 4 units, but like Blind Mouse, we've already got that. And then I see Horn of Olympus, and despite having 0 synergies on the current board with Horn of Olympus, I have been trying to find this treasure so hard for the past week or so that I felt like I just had to take it. So Horn of Olympus it is, despite having no synergies, and then I can just pick up this pair of crafties, and even if I don't like any of the treasures, it's still just a large unit, but skips Puzzle Rune. Actually kind of good. And I consider getting rid of the spinning gold, but I'm gonna float it for a turn. I'm going to hang on to it because our board is set here, and that is just going to give us an extra gold from spinning gold before we replace it next turn with the skips puzzle rune. So we are going to wind up losing this combat, but there you can see we've got the extra gold from the spinning gold. We will replace that with the skips puzzle rune, and now we just need to find one more treasure. We could pick up the stag, though I kind of feel like we're okay on the treasures front. We've got the Polywoggles, and then we also have the Nutcracker. One or the two of those is going to pay out. I wind up not even going for Nyan Sea Terror here either. Maybe it was a mistake that I rolled past the Baba Yaga, but I do consider going into like summons because we're going to be on 6 pretty quickly, and we are Pied Piper. But ultimately, I'm really just looking for another Polywoggle this turn. I just spent the full turn rolling for Polywoggle, wound up finding 2 golden chickens. That's fine, not really what I'd meant to do, but we'll take it. And from here, now that we have completed on the Skips Puzzle Rune, I'm actually going to go ahead and pick up Sporko and just try to slay with these Polywoggles this turn. Because next turn, we're going to be level 6. So it's just a little bit awkward. The first Polywoggle isn't big enough. The second one actually will slay though, so that'll give us 1 tier 6 unit. And that's decent. We do wind up losing this combat to Juliet. It's very close, but we do wind up losing it. And ultimately, that's fine. We're level 6. We've got the horn. We can figure out something strong to do with this, and especially here when we find Jormungand. I was planning on going wherever these Polywoggles took me, but unfortunately they took me to Scion of the Storm, which is not really a build around tier 6 unit. It's more you build around the treasures when you are looking to do stuff with Scion of the Storm. Playing against the Ghost here, so that generates some awkward situations in that we want to try to slay, but we also want to try to activate our Nutcracker, and I'm not sure which of these things is more important. I'm going to decide on going for the Nutcracker as more important here rather than pushing this Polywoggle. But then I decide that I think that the Nutcracker has enough health, and luckily it does as I move it out of the helm slot. So that is going to give us another tier 4 treasure this turn, as well as 3 bonus gold, 5 bonus gold actually, because Kitty Cutpurse slayed as well. Gloves of Thieving can do some interesting stuff with Horn and just be a powerful treasure all around, so I like that. I wind up picking up a second Jormungand and a second Polywoggle before Candy Raining. And I like Lightning Dragon, but we don't have River Wish Mermaid yet, so that part's a little bit awkward. And then we find River Wish Mermaid. So, okay, let's try to make some slay shenanigans work. Yeah, Lightning Dragon can be interesting with Gloves of Thieving, but ultimately just decided against it here. And now I'm going to wind up selling off a few things to pick up River Wish Mermaid. Goodbye to Kitty Cutpurse. That was like our faded unit this game, but I think that this will be pretty strong for us right now as well. We can start to scale up these Jormungands. I might want to consider Medusa as well, because that's an easy unit to slay with when you've got the Horn of Olympus. But I'm going to see what other treasures we can get off of Hercules and what other fun stuff we can put together. Jormungand is going to find a slay and be big enough to stick around and I think win us this combat. Yeah, it looks like, oh no, it'll actually be just a very, very close loss against a Hat Ball Peter Pan. So really close one. We wind up picking up a Tweedle, and it honestly makes me consider picking up Lordy. The game is still ending relatively quickly. We're still up a bunch of XP on the rest of the lobby, and for that matter, like just going into Dwarves and trying to end the game quickly can actually be a really good strategy, but we're going to see what Polywoggle gives us. There are some definite big payoffs in that capacity. Then I'm going to pick up another River Wish Mermaid. You can tell here that I just really want to play Slay because I've finally found the horn, and maybe that's clouding a little bit of my judgment, but it would be really sweet to put together a huge horn game for y'all. So that's what I'm going for. Whether it's right or not, I'm not sure, but we'll see what we get off the Polywoggle. We are potentially also completing Hercules this turn. Hercules activates in 2 here, and yeah, for that reason, all of this is looking pretty clean. We'll want to replace Sporko with Baba Yaga at some point, but for right now, we're doing okay. We are going to get the Slay with Polywoggle, and we are up against a Summons comp, and slaying Summons is so sweet. So that is going to be really, really good for us here. That's a shout out to my Discord. If you get it, you get it. But we are going to activate the Hercules, and we've got a lot of crazy things going on here. We grabbed a Lordy upgraded. There's a Baba Yaga in the shop. We could Pandora's Box as well. But here's what I'm thinking. If I really want to make this Slay thing work, I think it's Singing Sword. And the reason for that is Singing Sword is just going to be so helpful in jump-starting some of these Slays. Like, we can take Lancelot here, and it's actually immediately active as soon as we pick it up. It's at 27 attack. I think that this was the way to go. Now we could potentially start trying to scale a Lancelot. We could still find, like, a Lightning Dragon or something. And that will be big for us as well. So a lot of things to consider there on this turn, but ultimately I think that we found some good calls. Lance is a 50-50 to Slay. Actually, it was only a 1-4 after the Angry pumped up my opponent's team. So this Dwarves player, just a little too big for us, unfortunately, and we greeted a little bit this turn, activating our Lancelot. But you can't say it wasn't worth it. We get to pick up Evil Eye this turn, double our support bonuses. That is going to be really crazy for us. You are going to see that because I already have treasures that I need, I already have the horn, I don't mess around with picking up any of these mermaids at this point in the game. I just don't need them. So just going to ignore any of those that we come across. I am still kind of looking for some additional units to put on this board. I definitely consider picking up Medusa again, but decide against it. And then I do go for Healing Potion because I feel like maybe we could have a close combat against this Peter Pants and have it be relevant, and I just like to be prepared for that case. Wind up picking up Jormungand here, and don't really love any of these treasures, not more than Singing Sword, so not gonna worry about that. And then just throw Lancelot into the front here, hoping that Lance is big enough to slay, and it looks like it will be, but unfortunately is just really short, doesn't find the slay there. I think it was a 1-3 and it missed, but Jorm can still slay. So that's our saving grace. Jorm slays, then Hercules slays, and that is going to be enough to win this combat against these court wizards for my opponent. They do have a Romeo, so that will spawn a Juliet and give them some additional court wizard hits, but my Jormungand's just way too big and is even scaling a little bit further, which will be really helpful in future combats. It now has 66 health, which is going to help in case it gets attacked into or any cases like that. I am going to fire off a Pigomorph. I'm just a little bit nervous, and every battle could be my last. So I want to make sure that I am staying strong, and we do actually still need another card to put on this battlefield. And Princess P seems pretty good in that capacity. It's not going to be super great for us here because there's like no chance that it slays. And now I'm just deciding how greedy I want to be. Do I want to keep trying to slay with Lancelot? Or do I just want to abandon that, try to slay with Hercules, let that be what takes the Jormungand off? I could also lead with Jormungand, but ultimately I'm just going to play it as safe as I possibly can and lead with Hercules in this scenario. That's going to let Hercules pop off and give us a huge Jormungand. And then, unfortunately, this pig attacks into the Princess P. If it didn't, Princess P would have had a 2 and 3 to attack into either of my opponent's Spellweavers. and that could have been really, really good for us. But unfortunately, we miss that 50-50. We are again going to ignore all of these River Wish mermaids, but hey, I will go ahead and cast the Bippity Boppity on Lordy and see what we can find. And that doesn't give us anything super great. I wind up rolling past the Baba Yaga, and I wasn't sure about that, but I'm glad that I did, because we find another Princess P, and we also find Hermes magic beans, and I feel like all of these things could be pretty good for us. We do also have a Medusa in the shop, which is definitely something that we want to keep in mind and start considering even more as this game goes on and our opponents just get slightly out of range for us to slay. But for right now, we'll see what we can do with these Princess Peas. I'm going to go ahead and lock onto this Medusa for next turn, though. And we'll see. It looks like the dwarves are still small enough that Hercules can slay, which means Jormungand should be able to carry us this combat. And my opponent is transformed into Mordred. And if you do the math here, regardless of where this Lordy attacks, we will actually be able to slay with a Princess P this turn as well. So that's going to make Jormungand even bigger for this combat, which means that we definitely win this one. But importantly, now that Princess P is slayed once, it starts to look a lot more reasonable that it could slay again, especially against this ghost, and especially against this ghost that does not have King Arthur's. So I'm feeling pretty good about our chances here to start to do some really silly stuff with Princess P. I do consider picking up another Baba Yaga, and the reason for that is that would be a ranged unit for the Princess P to spit stats onto. But I'm ultimately just going to decide to roll for more Princess Ps, and while Evil Twin is not a Princess P, does a pretty good approximation of one. We'll be able to triple that next turn, which will just be absolutely massive, as well as giving us a tier 6 treasure. So we've really put something special together here. Princess P is going to slay. That is absolutely beautiful. As long as Juliet doesn't attack into the second P, that also gets to slay, which means our upgraded Princess P is going to be quite large indeed. And we are going to easily win this fight with Jormungand. That guy is going to continue to grow, and now we even get to have a huge backline because Princess P has died and passed its stats on. So really, really love how all of this came together. Let's Evil Twin, see what we find. That is going to give us a Mimic Chest. And now we have perfect slay treasures, Mimic, Evil Eye, Horn. We can throw in this Medusa that is going to slay against anything it attacks into. We've got an upgraded Princess P with 100 attack. Seems good enough to me. And then we've got a Jormungand that starts the combat with 100 attack, which is even some just additional insurance in case it gets attacked into. This is looking great. This is exactly what I've been trying to put together since Princess P has come out. We can finally put it to rest. I've done it. This is the perfect P slay comp, and yeah, just ultimately winds up being super, super great for us. Medusa's going to get that slay there. Cupid is going to take out one of our backline supports. It takes out the Baba Yaga. That's a little bit annoying, and then Princess P actually does not have the stats to slay, unfortunately, but it does still give us a huge backline, and Jormungand is still absolutely massive. So that will be a win, but not a kill onto Peter Pants there. We've still got a little bit more game to play. Again, going to ignore these River Wish mermaids. I'm not super interested in them because we already have all of the treasures that we want. But dreaming could be kind of interesting. We're not really using our hero power. We just killed Sadrak, so maybe we could find that. And instead we actually find Muerte, which I'm also super okay with. I definitely think that Sadrak would have been the best hero that we could have found, but Muerte is going to give us double P pumps, which should also be really, really powerful and really sweet. Yeah, all of our characters just slaying a whole bunch of times, and we put some crazy, crazy stuff together, including an upgraded Lordy for absolutely no reason, and yeah, just a bunch of other crazy, crazy things. So this was a really fun one. Let's see if we can take it home, though, now that we have become Muerte against this Gwen that has become Mordred. Jormungand's too big. They're not going to be able to take down Jormungand. It has gotten too many River Wish Mermaid pumps. Now it's absolutely massive. Medusa's going to slay. Princess P is going to slay. She's going to go up to like 150. I don't know. She's not stopping. 160? How far can we go? 170. Okay, 167. Pretty insane stuff. Jormungand now becoming absolutely massive. And then to finish things off, we'll also get to see Princess P die and trigger twice because of Muerte. And Peter Pants also died, or quit, or gave up, or something, because that's the end of it. And that is going to be the end of this video. Really, really cool and crazy game. Obviously, starting off super, super lucky with those pair of Kitty Cup Purse. Finally finding that Horn of Olympus and putting together something truly incredible with Princess P. That is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lex Given. Peace. This week's giveaway word is royal. Each week I use a new code word. That's just to distinguish who's commenting for which week. And the reason I have you guys say a code word, that way I can tell who is interested in the dust and who's just commenting to say hi or that they enjoyed the video, stuff like that. You can definitely do both. Just make sure you include this week's code word. You can also enter as many times as you want per week, once per video. You can go back, leave comments on old videos, just make sure they include this week's word, but there's no limit to how many times you can enter, other than, I guess, the amount of videos that I have. And I've been putting out a bunch of Storybook Brawl videos since last October, so yeah, there are a bunch of opportunities to enter to win. You can go through the backlog and watch some of those, but it's been really fun to receive the comments from you guys, get that level of interaction. You can also come join me on my Discord, which I'm trying to grow right now, just so that I have feedback on my titles and thumbnails and things like that, but I also have some fun ideas for special game modes that I could make work with lobbies of players in the future. So feel free to check that out as well. There is a link to that in the video description, and help me climb on my way to 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting there slowly but surely, and thank you guys all very much for your support.